Revealing grand jury transcripts in the O.J. Simpson case are made public. And the accused killer of 2 at a Florida abortion clinic is ordered held without bail. This is the CBS Evening News. And this is Bob Schieffer reporting. Good evening. The judge in the O.J. Simpson case decided late yesterday to release transcripts of the testimony taken by the first grand jury called to investigate the case. The transcripts portray Simpson as a man who hounded his former wife, trailed her on dates, and spied on her through the windows of her home. Bill Whitaker has our report.
Before disbanding under the avalanche of pretrial publicity, the grand jury heard chilling testimony from Nicole Brown Simpson's former lover. Restaurateur Keith Slomsowicz told the jury he had a love affair with Nicole in the spring of 1992, when she was separated pending a divorce from O.J. Simpson. Slomsowicz says on their first date at this Beverly Hills hotel, O.J. Simpson strode over, leaned on the table, looked straight at Slomsowicz, and allegedly said in a voice described as threatening, "I'm O.J. Simpson, and she's still my wife." Not long afterward, at another Beverly Hills restaurant, Slomsowicz testified O.J. Simpson came in while the couple and friends were dining. He pulled up a chair 10 feet away and sat facing the group, glaring throughout their meal. Slomsowicz said, "I was scared. I was shaken. She was very, very nervous." A week later, Slomsowicz testified he and Nicole Simpson left this Hollywood club when she thought she saw O.J. Simpson. Slomsowicz said he and Nicole shared an intimate evening at her house. The next day, while the children played out back, O.J. Simpson walked in on the couple and, according to Slomsowicz, said, "I watched you last night. I can't believe you would do that in the house. I watched you."
You think he's still going to hit you? I don't know. You're going to leave. You just said that.
The incident apparently sparked O.J. Simpson's rage the night Nicole Simpson made this 911 call.
I don't want to stay on the line. He's going to beat the shit. Wait a minute.
A source close to the defense told CBS News at the time O.J. and Nicole were trying to reconcile, that O.J. Simpson never threatened or harmed Slomsowicz, and that Simpson was concerned how the open affair might affect the children.
I did.
LAPD criminalist Dennis Fung testified at the preliminary hearing that he collected blood samples from the murder scene and O.J. Simpson's estate.
How many stains on the Ford Bronco did you test?
I believe 1 or 2.
But in more detailed testimony to the grand jury, Fung said he found bloody footprints and blood drops leaving the crime scene. Blood in O.J. Simpson's driveway, inside the front door, in the master bathroom, and in the drains of the bathroom sink and shower. He said there also was blood on the driver's and passenger side of Simpson's Bronco, and a bloody footprint on the carpet. Case investigator Detective Philip Van Adder said police questioned Simpson about the blood and a cut on his finger. Simpson told police he cut his finger the night of the murders before leaving for Chicago, and again in his Chicago hotel room. When questioned about the trail of blood at Nicole's condo, Simpson said he was last there about a week before the murders. According to the grand jury transcript, Van Adder asked Simpson, "Were you injured or anything while you were over there? Could you have been dropping any blood?" Simpson responded, "No, he wasn't injured and couldn't have been dropping any blood." Statement inaccurate. Meanwhile, police question the mystery defense witness, the burglar who claims he saw 2 white men fleeing the murder scene. The defense source says this witness doesn't want the reward money and is willing to take a polygraph. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Former federal prosecutor Laurie Levinson, who's serving as the CBS News consultant on this case, joins us now from Los Angeles. Ms. Levinson, first, in most parts of the country, people are used to having grand jury testimony remain sealed and kept a secret. But as I understand it, in California, after indictments are issued, then it is routine for grand jury testimony to be released?
That's right. In California, grand jury transcripts are released 10 days after they're given to the defense counsel. The only thing that's a bit strange in this case is that we never had an indictment. You'll remember they stopped the grand jury and went to a preliminary hearing. But now Judge Ito has opened the grand jury transcripts, and much of it's like the preliminary hearing, but we're beginning to see new information.
Well, let's go over some of the things that came out in these transcripts. If one goes back and reads this, O.J. Simpson comes off almost as a stalker here, someone who seemed obsessed with keeping up with what his wife, with whom he was separated from at the time. This is going to be a problem for the prosecution, is it not?
Well,
or for the defense, I would think.
For the defense. I think what the prosecution was trying to do in the grand jury was start to present their evidence of motive and show that there's another O.J. Simpson, one who would stalk his wife and one who was very upset about her relationships with other men.
A couple of other things in here that strike you, and how will they cut?
Well, I think very important in this grand jury transcript is that interview with O.J. Simpson when he came back from Chicago with the police. In that interview, he's asked if there's any reason he's going to have blood back at Nicole's condominium, because we know that blood drops were found leaving a trail from the scene of the crime. If that blood from the DNA testing comes back to be Simpson's, and he's already said, no, I wasn't there for at least 5 to 7 days prior to the crime, and even then I wasn't cut, he has a problem. How is he going to explain his blood near the scene of the crime?
And I guess we should point out it was the detective who was testifying to the grand jury. O.J. Simpson himself did not go before the grand jury, but what we're hearing here is what the detective says that O.J. Simpson told him during the interview.
That's right. This is the detective summarizing O.J. Simpson's interview with the police.
All right. Thank you very much, Laurie Levinson. The man arrested for the killing of a doctor and another man yesterday in a Florida abortion clinic was brought into court in Pensacola today. We're going now to Diana Gonzalez, who has our report on that.
It was the first appearance in court for the former minister charged in the brutal murders of an abortion doctor and his escort at a Pensacola clinic.
We're charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted first-degree murder.
40-year-old Paul Hill appeared calm, even nonchalant, for a man accused of murder.
Any questions at all?
No, sir.
Okay.
I can't think of any right now, sir.
Okay.
Hill seemed more confident yesterday when he made this pronouncement just hours after the killings.
Now is the time to defend the unborn in the same way you defend slaves about to be murdered.
It was no secret that Paul Hill advocated the use of violence to stop abortions. He publicly supported this man, Michael Griffin, convicted of murdering another abortion doctor in Pensacola. And virtually every Friday, Hill would come here to the Ladies Center and scream at the women going inside for abortions. A few weeks ago, he was arrested for disorderly conduct. In the quiet neighborhood of Oakfield Acres, where Hill lives with his wife and 3 young children, friends describe him as mild-mannered.
Paul was a very soft-spoken man. I mean, just always good words. The couple times that we've sat at their dining room table, like I said, it was on issues of our children.
But there are those who knew Hill's radical side and continue to support him. They claim the murder of Dr. John Britton was morally justified.
He was not murdered. His life was taken in defense of innocent human life, and that is not murder.
That mindset frightens many in this town, which has become the battleground for abortion rights.
Doctors and healthcare workers and women being denied safe access to healthcare by individuals with terroristic philosophies and policies.
A church service was held last night in memory of the victims. Today, Dr. Britton's family decried the violence.
He was a nonconformist and wasn't concerned to please, other people. He was doing what was right for the patient.
The anti-abortion rights movement has also been hurt, according to others who protested alongside Paul Hill but did not share his extremist views.
When I used to confront him, if you truly believe that you are, scripturally justified in taking the life of an abortionist, then why aren't you willing to do it?
That's exactly what police say Paul Hill did yesterday when he fired off a loaded shotgun, killing 2 people. Diana Gonzalez, CBS News, Pensacola.
A $100,000 reward was offered today for help in solving an arson fire at a Virginia abortion clinic. A gasoline device with a timer went off last night behind the Falls Church Clinic, 7 miles outside Washington, D.C. No one was hurt. There was only minor damage. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, the first U.S. troops reached the capital of Rwanda, and spreading wildfires in Washington state forced hundreds to flee.
This material helps inline skaters reach new levels of performance. It helps athletes see the course ahead. This material helps protect their bodies, and it helps protect what goes into their bodies. This material helps keep them safe. One kind of material helps make it possible to do all this for the world's best athletes, today's and tomorrow's. Plastic makes it possible.
You've got a headache and can't sleep. You would take a nighttime medicine, but you're worried. Why? This gently helps you to sleep, and it's aspirin-free. Aspirin-free Excedrin PM. The PM medicine for headaches from Excedrin.
Look closely. There's not a single gray hair. Is it by chance or is it by choice? New Clairol Men's Choice. A natural-looking way to blend away gray. This easy-to-use gel works in 5 minutes and looks so natural. New Clairol Men's Choice.
You like food. You get heartburn. You take Maalox. Life is good.
And don't forget great tasting Maalox tablets too.
The first of 200 U.S. soldiers arrived today in the capital of Rwanda to secure the airport and speed the distribution of aid to millions of refugees en route to Africa to assess relief operations. Defense Secretary William Perry said the U.S. troop presence would not be expanded into a peacekeeping role. Barry Peterson has our report.
The landing was routine. The symbolism was dramatic. American soldiers in Rwanda taking up positions at the airport in the capital city of Kigali. More soldiers and relief flights will follow. The man in charge said, make no mistake, the Americans will help, not fight.
My responsibility is humanitarian relief operations to support and leverage those organizations that are involved in it.
A country away at the airport in Goma, Zaire, this was hand-to-hand combat in the battle to save lives. But there's still not enough of anything. Not enough forklifts, personnel, or places to park the planes.
We're happy to be here. We want to get the job done. We know what needs to be done, and we want to get it done as fast as we can.
Still, with help from America and other nations, the tide in the camps is turning. Fewer people are dying.
I think it's better. More day after day is better and better.
For the kids of Kibumba refugee camp, a Saturday matinee watching as bodies are collected.
We're trying to get the bodies away as much as possible from the roadsides and from where the people live.
And there's a change in the camp. The structures are looking more and more permanent, as if people are planning to stay. And that's bad news for the UN and other aid agencies who hope the way to solve this crisis is to get these people back home. But the camps are becoming more like home. Today, a restaurant open for business. The Blue Plate Special, potatoes and beans. This, too, is normal camp life. Children orphaned or abandoned. His name is Palmy. If he's strong enough to walk, he will likely live. But for how long will he live like this? Barry Peterson, CBS News, Kibumba Refugee Camp, Zaire.
The UN Security Council is meeting later tonight to vote on a U.S.-initiated resolution that would clear the way for a possible invasion of Haiti. Haiti was further isolated from the outside world today when an Air France plane became the last commercial airline flight out of the country. All seats were taken. All other commercial airline service to Haiti stopped last month when the United Nations imposed sanctions to force the ouster of the Haitian military regime. In Geneva today, Secretary of State Warren Christopher said a UN resolution will be drafted next week to tighten sanctions against Bosnian Serbs. But the Serbs apparently see this as amounting to another idle threat. Sonny Kennard has our report.
It was designed as another Get Tough on Serbs session. Instead, it produced little more than a slap on the wrist. Punishment for balking at an international peace plan.
What we can do, and what we have done, is to maximize the chances for a negotiated settlement and carry forward the pressures.
The pressure amounts to tighter sanctions on oil and trade and tougher military enforcement in designated safe areas. And then this threat from the U.S. if the Serbs continue to reject the latest peace proposals.
If this phased approach
to the increased pressure on the Serbs was not successful. The United States would be under very strong, irresistible pressure to lift the arms embargo.
But Britain and France warn they will pull their peacekeeping troops out of Bosnia if the embargo is lifted. And Russia, a traditional Serb ally and diplomatic key, still opposes stiff reprisals, again giving the Serbs an open door.
I think the Serbs feel they can win. I think they feel they've called the West's bluff. They've seen the West now threaten, cry wolf, and really every single time really back down.
And the Serb response to today's meeting was increased defiance, a threat to cut off all contact with peace negotiators, and more deadly violations of the ceasefire. Serb snipers fired on Sarajevo, cutting down an innocent streetcar passenger, the latest victim in a war that today seems no nearer to an end. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, London.
Frustrating. I don't know why we can't get the receptor to contact. Are you done with
Most people think we make medicines. Actually, our job is to find them.
I'm going to lunch. You coming? No, I want to get this gel running. I'll see you down there then.
On the brink of discovery, Glaxo.
Yes, there it is.
The RF converter output of unit XLT735B is preset to VHF channel 3 prior to shipment. Wait, the RF converter output of unit XLT735B is preset to VHF channel 3 prior to shipment. The RF converter output of unit XLT735B is preset to VHF channel 3 prior to shipment.
Any questions? Radio Shack has over 25,000 people with simple answers to complicated questions. Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
It's new. Introducing Thompson's Water Seal Ultra Waterproofer.
It's better.
Easy to see coverage. Dries clear.
It's best.
The best multi-surface waterproofer you can buy. Beats the competition hands down. New Thompson's Ultra.
Not just better, best.
I'm Charles Osgood. The remarkable personal journey of artist Ruth Asawa. And behind a barbed wire fence, she saw beauty and began to create. Her story and more this Sunday morning.
President and Mrs. Clinton began the last lap today of their marathon battle for health care reform. Speaking in the hometown of Harry Truman, Mr. Clinton said the buck stops in Congress as it heads toward a climactic vote. Linda Douglas has the story from Independence, Missouri.
President Clinton tried to pump up the most important program of his presidency with images from his campaign. The Clintons and Gores together in the hometown of a beloved Democratic president, Harry Truman.
Let's finish Harry Truman's fight.
50 years ago, Truman fought for health reform, but he lost that fight, as has every other president since. Today, Mr. Clinton tried again to make middle-class Americans believe health care is their problem.
5 million Americans have lost their health insurance for good just in the last 5 years, and over 80% of them are middle class.
Down the street, protesters tried to be heard. Anti-abortion groups and conservatives, they have dogged the health reform bus caravan traveling throughout the country, arguing the uninsured should solve their own problems.
It's not a real problem, no. I mean, they can get insurance if they want it.
Mr. Clinton has declared his own health plan dead. Now he's calling simply for the broad goal of universal coverage. But that idea is stalled in a fiercely partisan Congress. Mrs. Clinton urged support for one Democratic proposal to expand health coverage for children.
When I look at a sick child, I don't see a Republican or a Democrat. I see a sick child who deserves to be taken care of.
Vice President Gore ripped into Republican Senator Bob Dole's plan to change insurance rules without revamping the whole health care system.
It's Bob Dole's plan that cripples the middle class, that hurts the middle class.
In Washington, Dole watched the Clintons on TV and had little good to say about Democratic plans emerging from Congress.
It's sort of gone from bad to worse as we get nearer the finish line.
This week, the White House will launch its most intense campaign for health reform yet, with TV appearances, rallies, and grassroots groups pressuring Congress. But lobbyists have been pressuring Congress to oppose sweeping reform for months, and supporters of the president now fear their campaign may be coming too late. Linda Douglas, CBS News, Independence, Missouri.
There has been no slowing of hundreds of wildfires burning out of control tonight in much of the Northwest. In one town in Washington state, residents had to leave their homes in advance of the fast-moving flames. Monica Gale has a roundup report.
Hundreds of residents in Leavenworth, Washington were ordered to evacuate today. 3 separate blazes threaten the small town in central Washington state, where a dozen major fires have consumed more than 120,000 acres.
I've just gone through and got all the things I didn't want to have to try and list in the insurance if the house burns. And the fire, just right up there's a hot spot, the only one on this ridge, and it's just a quarter mile up.
Governor Mike Lowry showed up to survey the latest hot spot.
There is a tremendous job being done by the local and the federal, working with our state agencies, and it's just a very tough fire.
Wildfires are now raging in 7 western states. The largest fire is burning in Washington's Wenatchee National Forest. More than 90,000 wooded acres have been torched and 13 homes destroyed. At California's Camp Pendleton, 1,200 Marines are packing up. They'll arrive on the fire lines in Washington over the next 2 days, bringing backup relief to thousands of weary firefighters.
Our job is to help people in need. That's our job.
Firefighting efforts turned deadly yesterday in Montana when a tanker plane dumping retardant crashed near Missoula, killing 2 men and sparking a new fast-moving brush fire.
Next thing we saw, he was stalling it into the trees. And then there was a big fireball, and that was it.
In Oregon, another tinderbox where almost 60,000 acres burned earlier this week. The picture looks a little better. Most of the major fires are now contained. Already this summer, more than 1 million acres have burned out west. Weather forecasters say dry, hot, and windy conditions will continue to fan the flames in what is now the worst fire season in 5 years. Monica Gale, CBS News, New York.
Okay, if the moon was really made out of cheese, I'd be an astronaut. Healthy Choice makes real cheese with skim milk, so it's naturally fat-free. I put it on practically everything. With Healthy Choice, I eat what I like. Cheese.
Day 5, my private island. If there's something better, I haven't found it. Today, we were greeted by a goddess as we visited Royal Caribbean's private island. We returned to the ship about 4 p.m. I saw the captain on his daily walking tour. Tonight, I'll return to my cabin, relive today, and dream about tomorrow. Sweet dreams.
You've got some Royal Caribbean coming.
This summer, get away from it all in the 270 horsepower Seville SLS with the North Star system. For just $4.99 a month for 24 months with $2,500 down, reserve your own private world. The Cadillac Seville SLS. Before summer breezes by, see your Cadillac dealer.
When I get gas, I may look like this, but I feel like this, painfully bloated.
GasX has the most powerful medicine to fight gas faster than antacids.
So I feel like me again.
Painful gas needs the power of GasX.
From the heartbreak of Rwanda with Secretary of Defense William Perry in Rwanda to the healthcare crisis at home with Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell. Face the Nation, Sunday.
They could be sunning on the beach, but some Miami athletes are spending this summer sweating out the tough game of city kids. They're not just playing to win, they're going for something better. Just ask the boys of Flamingo Park. Reed Galen reports.
Plato called old age a dreary solitude. You see a lot of that around Miami Beach, frailty and loneliness. But in the middle of it all is an island of vigorous defiance.
It's what you have to do when you're over 60.
Flamingo Park, home of the Wall, where old men come to show others and themselves and mortality itself that they have not yet worn out.
45 years ago,
My doctor bowled the hell out of me for playing handball. And they're all dead, and I'm still playing handball.
They've lost all grace. But with every halting, sweat-soaked swat, men in their 70s and 80s with names like Danny the Legend, Fast Eddie, The Brain, and Jake the Plumber retrace the steps of their youth.
Outside! Get out of here! That's the fact you couldn't see if you had
In the great gray cities of the Northeast, handball was the game they grew up with. A tough game, without pads, like life.
Every ball you miss, just keep quiet. You make a lot of noise and you don't say anything.
Most started out poor. The only thing they didn't have to earn in their lives was old age. But it has not come without a fight.
This is just the beginning. I got to put on my knee brace. I got my back brace on. I'm a walking mess.
How old are you?
65. I'm the youngest one down here. I'm a kid in the park.
They refuse to act their age. Bypass surgery scars crisscross many a chest here on the court they call the oven, where temperatures reach 115 degrees.
I don't play lotto, I don't play bingo, so I says, don't call me. My number's not up. When I stop playing handball, then my days are numbered.
Soon the oven may be empty. Young people don't grow up swatting handballs anymore. It's become, ironically, an old man's game. And when they have all finally worn out, who will pick up the ball and remember? Well, the boys of Flamingo Park are too busy cheating time to spend a lot of their precious energy worrying about the future.
Hey, don't push. Don't push.
Reed Galen, CBS News, Miami Beach.
I was the one in the pink shorts. That's the news. Tomorrow on Sunday Morning with Charles Osgood, Woodstock, 1994 style. Then on Face the Nation, Defense Secretary Perry will join us from Goma, Zaire, and we'll talk about health care reform with the Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell. Bob Schieffer in New York. Good night.
Miss Barclay!
Conrad!
Room 801. Once they were in love with butter, but cholesterol closed the door on their dreams until...
William,
May I serve you?
I can't believe it's not butter.
I Can't Believe It's Not Butter is the first spread flavored with real sweet cream buttermilk for a fresh butter taste, but without the cholesterol.
Now nothing can disturb our love.
I Can't Believe It's Not Butter, the taste you love without the cholesterol.
Polyshades by Minwax. It's a stroke of genius. Polyshades is rich stain and polyurethane protection in one. Polyshades gives wood a beautiful protective finish in half the time. Polyshades by Minwax.
You like food. You get heartburn. You take Maalox. Life is good.
And don't forget great tasting Maalox tablets, too.
Who makes the freshest summer salad? You do. With Good Seasons Classic Italian and your farm fresh tomatoes, you have created the freshest salad of the season. Good Seasons. You make it fresh. You make it best.
Experience CBS News.
Arancha Sanchez Vicario, Magdalena Maleva, and Mary Jo Fernandez lead a top field at the Acura U.S. Women's Hard Courts, Sunday on CBS.
This is CBS.